Welcome to the Powerlifting and Power Ballads podcast, where we bring you a weekly dose of powerlifting news, tips, and training advice with a touch of 80s rock ballads. This podcast is presented by Team Roar Powerlifting, your source of the most comprehensive coaching and meet day preparation. Here are your hosts, Josh Rohr and Lara Sturm.
All right, welcome to episode 239. How are you, Josh?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Good. So, things that happened in powerlifting this weekend. We had an athlete from Team Roar who competed at the USAPL Surge Legacy Series in Illinois. And that was Lane Severson. Am I pronouncing Lane's last name right?
You know, that's a good question. I think so. I never actually asked for clarification on that. So I've been calling him Severson, but maybe it's Severson, but I think it's Severson.
Okay.
Until told otherwise, I don't
Until
know.
Lane says otherwise.
Lane, I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong this whole time. You should have corrected me.
Damn it, Lane.
Actually, it's always in text. Most of our anytime I use his actual last name, it's in text. So
All right. So how would you know?
how would you know?
How would you know? But Lane did awesome. He went 9 for 9, and his squat was 175. His bench hit a new PR with 132.5, deadlifted 195, and got a total of 502.5, qualified for regionals. So,
Yep. Yeah,
sweet.
he had a really good meet. Yeah, that was kind of the goal, just to go in and just hit, reasonable numbers, not really push the envelope. We didn't really train for this one specifically. The goal is to, train through 4 regionals. So he did what he had to do and, still hit a PR in the bench, and it was a pretty good meet.
Awesome.
Yeah. So on that note of regionals registration opened a couple days ago. So you can now register for regionals. A lot of the meets already have a decent amount of lifters. So only 3 of them are showing a roster right now, but Southwest Regionals has 30 lifters signed up. West Regional already has 166 signed up, and Southeast has 85. So they're filling up. People are signing up. So if you plan to do regionals, I would suggest you sign up sooner than later.
I mean, you should always sign up sooner than later anyway, because it kind of commits you and it gives the meet director a clue.
Yeah.
And you can always get in the meet if you sign up
Yeah.
on time,
True.
not waiting till last minute. So there's my new lifter tip.
Yeah, there you go.
Sign up sooner rather than later.
Yeah. So one of the things that's a new initiative from the coaching committee side is Lift Together. Essentially, it's a mentorship program, so people can sign up to be a mentor for. It doesn't even have to be first time lifters. Anybody that needs a meet day handler, it's a free volunteer service, and you can actually find information about that on the coaching committee website. There's a link that says mentorship program. It's coaching.usapowerlifting.com. And essentially anybody that's a USA Powerlifting member that's, comfortable can sign up to be a mentor. We have a training course that they take. It's all online. It's all free. And then Elizabeth Yarde, this is actually her brainchild. She basically will match you with a mentor. Will match athletes with mentors based on location and, personality, a couple of different things. So she's doing that manually right now, but we've already had I want to say the Arnold was the first weekend that this was available. And I think she said there were 3 athletes and mentors that were utilized there. And there's already like 85 or something mentors signed up nationwide so far.
That's
So it's
cool.
pretty cool. Yeah, it's pretty neat. It's pretty neat. That was one of the things, like, she pitched the idea and I'm like, that sounds great, but that sounds like a lot of work. She's like, I'm willing to do the work. I'm like, okay, let's do it. So she's running that, and it's been a pretty huge success so far. So pretty cool.
Right. Sounds like a great way to grow the powerlifting community, especially for equip lifters.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
So it's primarily only available for raw lifters right now because it's a little bit above the pay grade of the training for the mentors for handling an equip lifter. But
True.
it's one of those things, like, there's forms you sign that, you're not the coach. So like if they have a coach, they call the shots, or the athlete calls the shots. You're just there
Right.
to help with timing and, things like that. If they ask you questions, you can answer them, like, how did that look? You
Right.
can tell them, but like, we're not there to,
Right.
the mentors
To
are not
coach.
there to be a coach, just a
Right.
meet day support person.
Yeah.
So I think it's a great resource. I know they've kind of done something similar to that in Washington where they have rookie meets and Dana Snow has mentors that
Right.
sign up and some of the other rookie meets around the country have kind of done this concept, but now this is like an official
Mm,
USA powerlifting program nationwide where, you can utilize it for any competition. So
mm.
it's
That's
pretty cool.
cool.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Good on her.
Yeah.
All
Yep.
right.
So there are also speaking of coaching, there are a couple upcoming certification courses. So the level one club course, there is one on May 24th in Washington, D.C. That's being taught by Ryan Gleason. There is also an online course on June 6th being taught by Sophia Veris. That's also a club level one course. And then June 9th is the level two national level certification course for coaches that'll be held the day before Masters National starts in Lombard, Illinois. So a couple opportunities there for you to get your certification. And I'm not sure this has been made public yet, but the requirement to coach at IDFPA Worlds in 2026 does require that you have at least a club level certification. So this first year that was not enforced, but that is going to be enforced in 2026 at the end of this year at the IDFPA Worlds. So if you do have an athlete that you want to coach at Worlds, you do have to have a club level coach certification minimum to be able to coach at Worlds. So that is kind of all the incentive you need to take this if you are planning to do that. But there is a lot of good information. Like we do go over scenarios, a lot of programming and things like that that a lot of people have questions about. So definitely recommend it and get your knowledge on. Yo.
Get your knowledge on. Yo, and you're one of the instructors still, right?
I'm one of the instructors. So I'm not teaching in
Mm,
the club course, either of the club courses. I know Sophia Veris is coaching the online one and Ryan Gleason's coaching the Washington D.C. one. I will be instructing the level two course along with some of the other staff. So that's kind of the cool part about the level two course as well, is it's a it's a multiple instructor course, and we kind of do a roundtable type. It's more open discussion. We actually have people put on equipment, and you have to learn how to adjust gear and things like that.
mm,
There's a real deep dive we go into with programming with the level two, where you actually, we make up scenario clients per se, and you have to write a program for them based on some of the inputs we give you.
mm,
And then, we'll on the fly come up with reasons that we need to modify it, and you have to show that you can modify it and make educated decisions and things like that.
mm,
Same with the scoreboard reading. We actually run like actual scenarios, like we'll run a meet like in real time, a made up meet, and everybody's coaching a lifter, and you have to make attempts and changes and things like that on the fly in real time, um, just to kind of get that practice under pressure.
mhm.
So yeah, it's
Cool.
pretty cool.
Well
Yes.
done. Well done.
Well done.
Well done. So we have a new lifter tip. So the tip is about wrist wraps, overlapping the joint for wrist support, and then wearing them above the wrist for grip support. So wrist wraps are 8 centimeters wide, and you can do a maximum of 12 centimeters coverage. But you have a note in here that I want you to elaborate on, the 2 centimeter and 10 centimeter.
Yeah. So most people don't realize that you're only allowed to have 2 centimeters uh, above the wrist or below, whatever, close
Mm,
towards your fingers,
mm,
and 10 centimeters towards your elbow. So that's the maximum of 12 centimeters. So that said, like if you want wrist support out of them, you want to use that full 2 centimeters of overlap to make a cast over the joint. And what a lot of people don't know is the grip advantage. So for deadlifts, if you have grip issues, it can be advantageous to wear that as close to your elbow as you can and not even worry about overwrapping the wrist. But when you squeeze your hand, it actually flexes your fingers. So if you make a tight fist, wrap it real tight, that's gonna force your hands closed. So that actually can help with grip. So that's Most people don't know about that aspect of the wrist wrap. It's just the
Mhm.
support for benching or squatting, but there's definitely advantage if you have grip issues to wearing them in that manner for deadlift as well.
Hmm. I never thought about that myself, actually.
And it looks weird because like it's not overlapping the wrist joint at all. It's just up above the wrist, but
Right.
it's for the purpose of squeezing that hand.
Right. Which makes sense, complete sense.
Yeah.
Because that's the flexors, right?
Yep.
They contract that.
This
Sorry.
fingers, the digits.
Yes. The digits.
Yep.
Nice. Okay. I like it. That's a good tip.
Yeah.
It's like you have knowledge or something. It's weird.
Well, a lot of these things are things that just come up in conversation or working with the lifter or something like that. So it's like, I might as well just mention it on the podcast.
Mm.
But
I mean, knowledge bombs
knowledge
dropped.
bombs dropped.
Yes.
Let's see. Powerlifting situation. I don't have one off the top of my head, but let's make one up. You are you are in flight A at a meet, you already weighed in and you're warming up, and the meet director makes an announcement that flight A is now being split into two flights, flight A and B, and you're now in flight B. You've already done three warm-ups and you have two to go. Do you start completely over or do you just wait and then pick up where you left off?
Ooh. Uh, you start completely over later. Um, because it's going to be a good bit before, most likely. I mean, I guess it depends on how big the flight is. If they split it, there's probably a reason they split it because it's maybe too big. Um, and that probably means it's going to go a little bit slower, but you definitely stop what you're doing and go sit down, chill out, don't waste any more energy, don't get any more hyped up, and then warm back up when it's time to do so. Did I get it right?
Yeah, I agree. It depends. There's, I guess, not really a right and wrong on this one. If you still feel pretty warmed up and you're able to sit there for, probably 30 minutes before you do your next one and you still feel warm, I mean, I'm okay with just picking up where you left off because if you have two more to go, you're probably not like super duper heavy yet. I mean, you're heavy, but you're not like getting to opener range yet. So it's not unreasonable to probably pick up there. But
Right,
on the flip side, all your warm ups up to that point have probably been pretty light. So the amount of fatigue that they're causing is probably very minimal. So starting them over really shouldn't make that much difference.
right,
So to me, that's going to be a lifter preference. I'm not going to necessarily say one way or another because if the lifter feels like they need to start completely over for warm up sake, if I tell them no, they're going to be like, oh, I'm not warm. And that's going to mess with them. On the flip side, if they're like,
right,
I don't want to wear myself out. And I'm like, no, start over. And they're like, oh, this is way more work than I need to do. You know, I
right,
don't think physiologically, I don't think it matters either way, really. But I think mentally it probably does. So
mm,
it's going to be lifter
right.
choice for me.
Yep. Mm, good call. Good call. And I think it depends a little bit on the temperature of the venue as well, because we've been to some venues that are cold.
Yeah, and what you said about the flight size too, because if it's two flights of six, which that's kind of the assumption if they split flight A into A and B,
Mm,
it's probably, they probably had like 16 lifters and they were counting on somebody not showing or something, or it was flight A and B and somebody dropped a weight class and now they moved into flight A, so they have to
right,
split it. It could be a scenario like that. Either way, you're probably only looking at like 8 and 8 ish
mm,
lifters if it's being split, or even 8 and 7 potentially. Yeah, it'd be 8 and 8. So it's going to be quick. So it's not going to be like it's a whole flight of 15 that you have to wait through. So,
right.
8 times 3 is 24. So you're looking at 24 minutes, 24 attempts. Um, yeah, I think you could roll either way with that.
This is my cat making an appearance.
I see.
Sorry. Yeah, good point. I was thinking that it was just a large flight, but I'm also, I don't know. I've been out of powerlifting so long. I'm like, rules? Where do you split that? Like, yeah. So, Joshua dropping another knowledge bomb, coming up with powerlifting situations on the fly.
Yeah.
Nice.
So you know what I've been doing recently? I've gone down the rabbit hole of like sentimental dad videos on Instagram. It's rough, man. Like there's oh, I can't remember. Hold on, let me see what they are.
Is it the one where like the dad's holding the kid and there's a baseball coming and he has a beer in one hand and he kind of drops the baby for a second, catches the ball, doesn't drop the baby actually, and doesn't even spill his beer, but catches the ball.
No, it's worse than that. Those are cool videos.
Oh,
So
okay.
there's a stoic.dad.daily on Instagram,
Mm,
and it's just like a little video of like a animation of a dad walking
mm.
carrying his daughter, and one of them is like, is today the last time you carry your sleepy daughter to bed, question mark, or the last time she asks for a piggyback ride? Maybe she won't ask to play dolls with you again, or today she chooses her friends first. This is your reminder, if she asks you to play today, say yes before it comes to the last time. But the whole time there's like an animation of like a dad walking carrying a daughter, and like, man, talk about tearjerker.
Yeah, right.
And there's like they do that. They post one every day, and it's something similar. So I'm just like in my
Mm.
feels all the time.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's cool. Well,
yeah,
and the I like all the stoicism stuff and
yeah,
that whole philosophy. It's just very based in yeah, handling what you can control, which, is between the ears for the most part.
yeah. And I'm like
Yeah.
super glad. So like there's definitely positives to watching those because like last night, for example, Hope was working.
Mm.
She was working an overnight shift, so I had the girls, and Ella decided to scream bloody murder until like till like 1:30 in the morning, and the only way that she would stop is I carried her to the living room and we started playing with cards at 1:30 in the morning. And she's you know a year and a half old, and we're playing cards. Literally, she wouldn't go back to bed until 2:30. So I take her back to bed at 2:30, and she just falls asleep, and then Emma starts screaming from the other room, "Daddy, Daddy!" And
Oh
my
gosh.
first instinct is like, I am freaking tired. Like, just shut up and go to bed. But then I'm like, all right, what if this is the last time she asked me to come into her room? Like,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
So,
Yeah,
yep.
they do grow up super fast. And you never know.
You never know. So on that note, I'm sitting here bawling my eyes out right now. Not really, but
Oh,
I
oh,
feel, I feel, I feel, I feel the water building up. So we need to end this.
oh, okay. Well, um, okay. On that note,
You weren't expecting that, were you?
no, no. I'm like, okay, how do I get out of this awkward moment where
Right?
Josh is about to cry?
And and the best part is I love awkward moments. So like I know this is making you uncomfortable, and it like I'm being sincere with what I'm
Uh,
saying, and I know it's making you
yeah.
uncomfortable. So it's like a win-win.
Yeah, I mean, I get it though. Like I would give anything to go back for a day to have my kids be little again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, because they were so awesome. You never stop being a parent, it just changes and then they don't live with you anymore and it changes things. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of so, we obviously had kids later. Like I'm 43, Hope's I'm not going to say how old she is, but a lot of my high school friends like have kids in college, and like I have a few that are grandparents already, like same age as me.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the things that I've heard from them is like, man, I wish I could go back. So like I'm trying to like
Mm.
live in that moment, now.
Yeah, right. Because man, they're only little once and they're so precious.
Yeah, and then I saw something like age 0 to 18 is like 98% of the time you'll ever spend with your kids or something.
Yeah.
Like, oh
Yeah, it
man.
really is. Yeah. And then, by the time that they're at that age where they're leaving home, I don't know, you're kind of like, yes, I'm going to become an empty nester or whatever. I'm like, yeah, cool. And then they leave and you're like, oh, wow. It's awfully
Yeah.
quiet. And yeah, although it does open up travel possibilities.
Yes.
So that's the upside.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, on that note, I'm gonna go in the corner and cry. And
Well, I mean, be in touch with your feelings, Josh. Embrace it.
yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like everything I do, I cry. Like lifting, I cry. Talking about kids, I cry. I'm just like a big crybaby, man.
Oh, wow. Well, there's worse things to be, truthfully. So embrace it. Be you.
How, on a scale of 1 to 10, how uncomfortable are you right now?
Not actually all that uncomfortable.
Oh man.
Huh.
How
I
about
don't
initially? Because
initially.
you were kind of squirming there at first. You were kind of squirming.
Well, when
You
you
look,
said you were actually crying, and I was like looking at you like,
yeah, you're trying to look
really?
at.
I'm like, oh, is he really? Is he oh, yeah. So for a minute, yes.
Got
But
it.
yeah. But I'm trying to be more. I'm a weird chick. And Dan will tell you that I'm more like a guy than most women, or most guys that he knows, is what he says. Because I'm not very. I don't cry. Like he was saying that he's seen me cry like he could count them all on one hand, and I'm not a crier. But the the reason I'm not a crier is because I'm just so, I don't know, out of touch with my own feelings sometimes. Like I don't even know what's happening sometimes with me. And he'll be like, "Oh, you're pissed." And I'm like, "No, I'm not." And then, we'll talk a little bit and I'm like, "Oh, I guess I am actually." Right? So sometimes there's that. Like there's that downside of being not in touch with things, and I'm trying to do better about that. So
See, I think
I
I'm
get
I
it.
think I think I'm the same way, except for some of these things like kids and stuff like that. Like I just can't
Mm,
control it. It's like I'm like,
yeah.
what is? So you ever watch another Seinfeld reference? Jerry did something one time. He was like dating a girl and they were talking about feelings or something like that. I can't remember exactly how it goes now, but long story short is like he never cries. He doesn't feel. He's just like a heartless guy. Like doesn't
Yeah,
have any
yeah.
emotion. And like he started crying. He's like, "What? What is this salty discharge?"
Right? Yeah. So, yeah, I'm not gonna cry still,
Yeah, yeah. Well,
but
I try not to. I don't. I really don't like it, honestly. But it happens.
hey,
These
stories
girls
time.
are like doing something to me. It's weird. I don't know.
Yeah, right. Wearing off on you.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I
Yep.
love it.
Yep. Cool.
All right,
All
Josh,
right.
well, take
Enough of
care.
that talk.
Good times. And that's all I have to say about that.
Yep.
All
Cool.
right, well, until next week.
Later.
Bye now.
And just a friendly reminder, if you are looking for science-based powerlifting programming, look no further than the Team Roar training app. You can find the link to it in the episode description and also get 25% off of your first month using discount code all capital PL Ballads Podcast. Happy training.
Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed today's episode of the Powerlifting and Power Ballads podcast, please remember to subscribe and share it with your friends.